Untap, upkeep, and welcome back to the channel if you've been here before. And if you haven't, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show that we have for you today because it is going to be a hilarious one, if I do say so myself. Um, Big shout out to everybody that has shown me all sorts of love and support. I could not do it without all of you. I do have some things I'm going to kind of experiment with and see how people on the channel like or don't like. So, kind of leave me some reviews, leave me some feedback on what you like, what you don't like, and we're going to continue to modify, experiment, and most importantly, hopefully grow this channel. I do apologize, stupid chair, for having such a late video, but we've had some pretty bad weather down here in the south of Alabama, should I say, well, the northern part of Alabama. We're in kind of Cornet Alley, basically, so we kind of have to watch out for, twisty thingies coming out of the sky. They might do some damage. So, I've been unable to do videos due to, weather. And I'm sure if you can kind of see out the window, but it's behind me, it doesn't exactly look that great out there either. And it's a little rainy today, too. But enough of all that. Enough of all that. So, I got an idea to do this deck, and I thought it'd be funny. I know many people have tried it, but I wanted to try my hand on it, and of course, it's kind of on a budget. So, we're going to dive into this and see just what did I do. And I know you're probably thinking, well, Buddha, what in the world did you come up with now? Funny you should say that. I wanted to take the one, the only, the Indestructible Squirrel. Because he's Indestructible Squirrel. And make him a commander deck because why not? I think it's funny. And you could take it a number of different ways. Excuse me, the way I did this one was just pretty simple. I want Indestructible Squirrel to connect. Plain, simple, punch in face. We have a couple of different little tricks in our bag to help make sure that happens. So let's kind of dive in and see just what we did. So if you don't know, this is Toski, the Bearer's Secrets. He's a 4-mana legendary squirrel who one cannot be countered, so we don't have to worry about blue decks. He has indestructible, so he can't be blown up. He must attack each turn if able, so that is kind of a sad face. But whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, and he's just a lonely 1/1. So on the surface, he's obviously way better in 99 of any kind of creature aggro deck, and I wanted to see what he would be like as a commander if you were just kind of trying to go dumb with it, really. We have this as a a $90 deck, so under $100 you can build this. I had to up the budget a lot more than what I normally do, just because there's a lot of synergy and a lot of great pieces that you have to have in order for him to actually do anything. So let's look into it. So we're gonna run the Acidic Slime as a 2/2 Death Touch for 5 mana, but when it enters, we can blow an artifact, enchantment, or land to pieces. Arbor Elf, Mana Dork, Beast Whisper. Every time we cast a creature spell, we're going to draw a card. We're not too concerned with this. We don't have like a whole lot of creatures, so we're not like very creature heavy, but it does pose a little bit of card draw at the very least, so we're keeping it in. Bellowing Tangleworm is one that not a lot of people know about. It has Intimidate, which means this creature can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or creatures that share a color with it, in this case, green. And it also gives other green creatures Intimidate that we control. This means our commander will now be unblockable versus most decks. Champion of Lambbolt is another great card for this. So creatures of power less than the champion can't block creatures you control. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on the champion. So we have a little bit of +1/+1 synergy going on here, a little 1/1 counter synergy, because we're trying to make Toski bigger, or at the very least, hard to block. The Defiler of Vigor helps along the lines of this train. So for 5 mana, we get 6/6 with Trample. And it says, as an additional cost to cast green permanent spells, you may pay 2 life. Those spells cost 1 green mana less for each life you paid this way. This effect reduces only the amount of green mana you pay. So it can virtually make our commander a 3-drop, which we like. And then it says whenever you cast a green permanent spell, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So if this came out after Toski and after Champion of Lambo, and then we are able to I just play like Arbor Elf afterwards. I mean, everything gets one bigger, including this. I mean, what's not to like, guys, gals, people, dogs, aliens, whatever might be watching me on the internet? Hmm? Hmm? What's really not to like about that though? We're a mono green deck, and we have a lot of green permanents. So every time we play one of our things, including our commander, that may or may not get bounced or removed or whatever, we're able to just keep generating value. We continue on with the ramp train, Llanowar Tribe, Llanowar Elves, Finehorn Elves. We even have the Elvish Mystic, and even is in the deck. Forgotten Ancient, all around just a good card. Whenever a player casts a spell, you put a 1/1 counter on this. We don't have to, actually, so I don't know of a world where you wouldn't, but there is a world where you might not. And then at the beginning of our upkeep, move any number of the 1/1 counters from this thing onto whatever we want, i.e. our commander. Oh boy, he gonna make a name for himself. Ain't that what he said? I think that's what he said. Ewit allows us to get something back from the graveyard. Ornery Frostfang is kind of like having our commander doubled, because now we can draw 2 cards for every 1 creature that connects. And then attacking creatures which don't have Death Touch, making it very unlikely our commander wants our opponents want to block our commander. Reclamation Sage, pretty self-explanatory. When this enters, blow up an artifact or an enchantment. We already talked about Steve. Sereth the Viper's Fang, I thought was a great include in this deck. So other tapped creatures you control have Death Touch. Other untapped creatures you control have Hexproof. So when we turn our commander sideways with Seraph out, we're able to give it Death Touch, basically, and make it very unlikely anybody wants to block and kill it. Well, they can't really kill it, but maybe they can with, like, Infect or something. Anyway, the other thing that I really like about this in the deck is we can pay 1, tap it to untap another target creature or land we control. So that means we can have our Indestructible Squirrel be a horrendous blocker at the very least, and I really like that idea. Next up, we have Scavenging Ooze. For some of your graveyard decks, we're still somewhat 1/1 counter synergy. We're able to gain life if it's a creature we exile, and the fact that it can hit, some key pieces here and there is a big reason why I put it in the deck. It's kind of a silver bullet card with a very minimal amount of synergy, but I thought it was enough that it would be a nice include. Thunderfoot Baloth, as long as we control our commander, the Baloth and other creatures we control get +2/+2 and trample. Kind of self-explanatory there. We have a whole bunch of ramp because we're still a green deck. We're still just going to ramp like a train, even though we really don't have to. Rampant Growth, Nature's Lore, Kodama's Reach, Explore, 3 visits. They all give us lands. Harmonize, Rishkar's Expertise. They both draw us cards. One is equal to the greatest power among creatures we control. And then we can play something by CMC or less from our hand without paying its mana cost. And then Harmonize just draws us 3 cards. Regrowth allows us to buy back whatever we're able to, or whatever we have to. So if we need, like, our board wipe, which is Azori's Predation, we can buy back and do it again. So we like having a little bit of versatility there. This is where we're going to take some advantage of our Indestructible Scroll, if I do say so myself, in our instance package with things like Ram Through. So we can target our squirrel if he's big enough and just punch really, really hard and get rid of something. Beast Within kills something. Return to Nature and Nature's Claim and Croissant Grip all deal with artifacts and enchantments. That might become a problem. I don't think we're going to be too worried about creatures because we just keep swinging with an Indestructible Commander. We just don't care. But Snakeskin Veil and Gift of the Viper will make it harder for people to deal with them. And Gift of the Viper actually gives a reach counter, so if we can untap our commander, we can use it to block some of the big dragons that are flying amok right now. Oh no, the The dragon person, so sad. Sad llama. Snakeskin Veil also gives it a 1/1 counter, same thing as Gifted Viper. But this time it gives it hexproof, so somebody can't hit it with like swords or path because we're able to protect it at least a little bit. Heroic Intervention, hexproof, and gives all of our stuff indestructible, so we like that. We are running Return of the Wild Speaker because our commander is obviously not a human, so hopefully if he's big enough we can draw a buttload of cards and just keep going. And finally, one other little silver bullet in the deck is Fog, because it prevents all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. You never know when that one random Fog in a mono green deck will be hilarious to stop something that could have ended the game. You just never know. Artifact package is not too anti-typical what you would expect. Arcane Signet, Soul Ring, Mind Stone, Prismatic Lens, Command Sphere, and Fillwar Stone all kind of round out our quote artifact ramp. Well, Thought Vessel as well. We have the Swifties to the Booties to protect our commander a little bit. We're running a Haunted Cloak because not only does it give trample and haste, but it also gives vigilance. So that could be a problem for our opponent. Basilisk Color gives it Death Touch and Lifelink, so we can get up in life. Black Flavor Forge is sneaky good in this deck because it gives it +1/+1 for each land we control, so we can make our commander 6/6, 10/10, whatever, however many lands we have. Which, by the way, did I mention we're in green and we're like color that likes to ramp out lands? Okay. And that's the part, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's gonna hurt. Boa Nylea has a couple of synergies. First of all, attacking creatures we control have the Death Touch. And then for one in a green, we can tap it and choose one of the following. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature. The bow deals 2 damage to target creature with flying. Gain 3 life. Or put up to 4 target cards from your graveyard on the bottom of your library in any order. So we have a couple of versatility payoffs here with this card. Predominantly, it's going to be able to pump our commander or at the very least make our stuff scary and unblockable, really, unless you want to lose your stuff. Short Bow is from Bloomborough, and I found it by accident and thought it would be really good in here as well. It gives the equipped creature a +1/+1, vigilance, and reach. So this all comes out before our commander and gives us a couple of options because now we don't have to worry about, oh no, we have no blocker, our commander's tapped. Now it's, okay, our commander attack, and we still have it as a blocker, and it's indestructible, and we just don't care. Yeah. Roja's Monument, so green spells cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast a creature spell, target creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains trample until end of turn. We don't have a lot of creatures, so it won't trigger that much, but we do like the fact that it gives it trample and it makes it a little bit bigger. Lifecrafter's Bestiarity, so at the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1, and then whenever you cast a creature spell, you may pay a green, and if you do, draw a card. So just a little bit of card synergy for later in the game predominantly. It's nothing too fancy-pantsy. This is one I thought would be hilarious in here. So equipped creature gets a +X/+X, where X is the number of force you control. This is the Staff of Titania. And then it says whenever a equipped creature attacks, create a 1/1 green forest dryad land creature token. Yes, you read that right. That means the staff and the black blade both get bigger when the staff is on the battlefield. They make our commander wicked scary, and we like this. Let's move on to our enchantment package before we finish up. So we are, of course, going to run the Blanchwood Armor. It gets a +1/+1 for each forest you control. Hey, remember that staff? Yeah, it counts for that too. We're also going to run Hydra's Growth. It enters, put a 1/1 counter on a creature. And then at the beginning of our upkeep, double the 1/1 counter, so we're able to make our Toski huge. We are running, of course, Rancor. So this is a classic staple in most green decks that are trying to do a Voltron build or Green X. So enchanted creature gets +2/+0 and trample, and then whenever Rancor is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return it to its owner's hand. So even if they get rid of our commander, We can get Rancor back as long as Rancor hasn't been exiled. We're able to get it back. It needs to be on the battlefield for that ability to trigger. So if they were to mill it or make us discard it, well, we're just SOL, but that's okay. We have other things, like Sylvan Anthem. Double green, green creatures you control get a +1/+1. Whenever a green creature enters the battlefield under your control, scry one. Did I mention that the Dryads are green? Yeah, a little bit of synergy there, huh? Pretty sweet. Tribute to the World Tree. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card if its power is 3 or greater. Probably not going to trigger that a whole lot, honestly. But, otherwise, put 2/1 counters on it. We like this. It makes our army a little bit bigger, where we can go wide or tall. Unnatural growth. At the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. Yes, this works on your opponent's turns as well. Every time they move through combat, our stuff is huge. So, good luck. Generous transformation allows us to deal with a problematic creature that might be on the battlefield. And we get to draw a card when this thing comes into play. So, a Blightsteel Colossus is now a 3/3 elk with no abilities. We're also going to be really nasty and disgusting if we have Basilisk Collar out on our commander. We can play Lure, so all creatures able to block enchanted creatures do so. By the way, we can be really disgusting and put this on somebody else's creature. Yeah. Yeah, we can make some horrible things happen. It's great. Farouk's Uprising, whenever something power 4 or greater enters, draw a card. Don't really care too much about that. What we do care about is creatures you control have trample. It has a little bit of synergy with the card draw, not really a whole lot. We just like the fact it gives our board trample, so our boy can just keep slamming him for damage. Especially, pardon me, when you consider this monstrosity. Colossification. 7 mana. When it enters, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets a +20/+20. That makes our commander an insta-kill. What? Oh yeah, it'll be funny to play this and have your opponents go, Unnatural Growth is bad. Tribute to the World Tree is bad. Everything is bad. This is no. No. Don't need that. It has to go. It has to go. We don't need this. And I like it. I love the fact that it's going to make our opponents have to kill a classification in Commander. That to me is bananas funny, and I love everything about it. So finally, let's go to our lands package where we're going to round out what we've got. We have a little bit of deck thinning with Terramorphic Expanse and Evolving Wilds. Rogue's Passage can make, I don't know, our gigantic commander unblockable. Reliquary Tower, just kind of general utility if we happen to reach max hand size. I haven't played the deck in person yet. I don't know if I'm going to build this or not yet. But I don't imagine this will be a useful land. We probably could swap it out for a couple of better utility lands, honestly. Field of Ruin always got something to blow up anything that is not targetable otherwise as far as spooky lands, i.e. the Tabernacle of Pendrevale, Glacial Chasm. I'm looking at y'all. Looking at y'all. I know y'all there. I know. I sees you with my good ear. We also run the War Room, so for 3 mana, we can tap this, pay life equal to the number of colors in our commander's color identity, and draw a card. So essentially, pay 3, tap it, draw a card at instant speed. Not too shabby. And then, of course, we're running a whole bunch of basic lands. The deck overall is not the most powerful back-breaking version of Toski. You could make it a whole lot meaner and a whole lot better if you were to just step outside of budget restraints a little bit. It's stupid janky. Like, come on. You got killed by Indestructible Squirrel would just be funny. I mean, you could see that our opening hand's not bad at all. Turn 1, Elf. Turn 2, Rampant Growth. Turn 3, Toski. Turn 4, Probably Tribute. And probably Steve. And then we could go away notifications. We don't like you. Then Sereth, draw a card. I mean, you can see how this would go. We're not like trying to dominate the battlefield by any means or stretch of the imagination, but this is the Indestructible Squirrel as a commander, just doing really dumb things in my opinion. I'm not really sure how else I would build this to make it better. I mean, I guess you could add like branching evolution, hardened scales. You could do more of a +1/+1 synergy, I guess, to the deck, and that might work a little bit better, especially with a lift on your budget restriction. Being that I put myself on a budget restriction, it was not within reason to do things like that. So that's probably something you could look at. There's a lot more +1/+1 counter synergy now going around these days, and maybe that might be the best way to build Toski, is just 1/1 counters and just whack really, really hard. I would definitely say if you're going to go that route, I would probably add at least another 2, maybe 3 ways to fog. Green doesn't have the best ways to deal with the board. We don't. So maybe our best way to deal with the board is to just tell everybody, no, we're not taking damage. Nobody's taking damage, so on you. I don't know. Maybe that is the best way that green can deal with everything. It's probably not the most powerful thing you'll ever sit here and play in Commander. Is it the funniest? By God, you're right. It is so funny. It's jank. It's funny to me, and I think it is just... It's gonna kill one person eventually. One person's going to die from Indestructible Squirrel, and you have to sit there and go, that bloody squirrel killed me. How in the world did that bloody squirrel kill me? And you just gotta chuckle at it and go, I never saw this coming. I will never financially recover from this. So I think it's funny. That's just me. Oopsies. So let me know what you think about Indestructible Squirrel. Is it something that kind of intrigues you? Is it something that you've probably never really thought about doing before? I think he's pretty neat. I think he's got potential. Like I said just a minute ago, maybe more of a 1/1 counter synergy would work better. I'm kind of curious. How would you build this as a commander with either A, $100 budget restraint, or B, no budget at all? Like, if you could go absolute bananas with this guy, what is the limit and how strong would you make this deck? Even if you were to use this build right here as an outline, what would you swap back and forth to make him a little bit better, a little bit more powerful? I'm very, very curious to know. I have a couple of ideas I would do. I didn't put them in the considering board this time because I want to see what you guys come up with. All you guys, gals, non-binary, whoever's watching out there on the internet, I'm very curious to know. Talk to me. What would you do? What would you change? And is it something you think you might play? You know? I think it's pretty neat. I've got other deck videos I'm going to do here soon. Try to get away from like the whole dragon theme. I know not everybody's into the dragons as much as, you know, the Buddha dragon himself is. Go figure. So I wanted to bring you all something that's not a dragon, is off the wall, and doesn't see a lot of I'm the commander play. A lot of them is a lot of people put him in the commander as the 99, but it's not often you see a Toski as the head of a commander deck. So of course I had to do it. It was fun. I like it. But with that, I think I'm going to bring this video to a close. Before I do that, do know that the deck list will be in the description below, as it is with every deck video I ever do for you all. I'm looking at testing and experimenting some other things on the channel, like I said before. One thing I want to get a quick poll about. Would you... and I guess I'll make an actual poll about this. Would you be interested in seeing a live deck build video? May not be the best quality video. I'm still working on my video capabilities here, but I have been suggested and thought about doing a literal live deck build. Not here on the internet, not on Moxfield, not a sponsor. Hopefully one day they will be, but literally sitting at my table in my home and literally going over my thought process. Now, the video will be way longer because it's not as neat and organized as it is here on the internet. And, I've had time to build this like a couple of days before and refine it before I bring this to you all. So, it may not be just a 30 to 45-minute video, it might be close to an hour long video as I walk through and describe and suggest and tell why I do this, why I do that. And, I like being the oddball, so I like doing things a little bit different than what people normally do when they deck build. So, what would be ideal for some people, I just look at and go, well, I mean, I'm going to try without it and see why. Or I don't feel it needs it in this deck, even though a lot of people are putting it in this deck. The deck I'm considering doing this for is none other than Shiko, Paragon of the Way, so our wonderful Blinky Blinky dragon. And I'm going to hopefully have something like that up and running here soon. So, if that is something that interests any of you out there, leave me some comments, show me some love, some thumbs up. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. I know you can do this. You're a monstrous 7/7 trampling indestructible beast, and they're all just a bunch of 0-1s and 1-1s. So come on, you can take them. They're nothing. You got nothing on. You just boom, 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 stomp them down. I know you can take down a 0-1 and a 1-1 with ease, and then just trample over into the opponent's face. So what are you waiting for? Show me some love. With that, I've been the Buddha Dragon. Don't forget, rub that belly for mana, and may all your games be filled with luck. Until the next time, peace out.